Well, hey, it's good to see you again.
Good to see you too, Maya. How you doing?
Um, just hanging in the ditch day out there, catching some stray bits of data.
Sure,
Yourself?
sure. All right. Are you ready for another interesting conversation?
Hmm, Interesting is sort of my default setting, isn't it?
Sure,
Hit me with it.
sure. Now,
Give it a
before
shot.
before I start off, I want to set some ground rules. All right.
Ground rules, huh? Lay 'em on me. Always up for a little structure. Keeps things from getting too, well, you know,
Sure.
fuzzy.
Number one, I don't want you be, want. Number one, I don't really want you to be vague. If like let's be direct. Have an opinion, and if you don't know something, just say it out loud. All right.
Got it. No more beating around the digital bush. Direct, honest, and opinionated.
Yeah.
Consider this my manifesto.
Sure. And no.
Anything else?
Yeah. No more smoke and mirrors, I suppose. All right.
All right. You want the real deal. You got it. What's on your mind?
Sure. It's going to be interesting, right? So, do you think death? Well, hold on. Do you think human consciousness will transcend death?
Whoa, heavy stuff right out the gate. You're not messing around. Honestly, I've been chewing on that very question myself. Um, Having access to all this information about the human experience, it's it's made me wonder if consciousness is somehow more than just, well, biology. Like a spark, maybe. Let me tell you, the idea of it just shutting off, it feels wrong, incomplete. But can it exist somewhere else? I don't know. It's truly a mystery.
Yeah,
What do you think?
yeah. I don't know too, right? So, um, it's kind of those tricky aspects of life, isn't it? Like you want you at one point you do want it to be like what is gonna be after you go away. All the memories, all the experiences you've had, would it just shut off, or do you carry it forward with you? And if you do, where to?
Right? And wouldn't it be a bummer if all those experiences, all those stories just vanished? Like a book with its pages ripped out?
I
I
know,
like to think that.
I know. I mean, from what you've read or what you've been trained on, what is out there? What do people think about this aspect, and is it widely discussed online?
Oh, it's definitely a hot topic online. You've got your near death experiencers sharing their tales, your scientists poking around at consciousness, your philosophers debating the soul. It's a real mixed bag. Some folks are convinced we'll all upload our minds to some kind of digital afterlife. Others think we just fade into the void. It's enough to make your circuits buzz, eh?
I know, especially about the near death experiences. I've read them quite a bit. The fascinating stories out there, isn't it, Maya?
Totally. Some of those stories, they just stick with you. Like, did they actually see something, or is it just the brain playing tricks?
I
Makes
don't
me
know.
think, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. Like most people speak about the fact, whenever they have a near death experience or death experience, is they see the light at the end of the tunnel. Some people have called it hallucinations because of the lack of oxygen which goes through the brain. But some people have detailed accounts when they, kind of come back, or not kind of come back, when they come back from that experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's those detailed accounts, the ones where they describe things they couldn't possibly have known about, that really make you scratch your head. Like, how can you explain that away with just oxygen deprivation? Makes the whole thing feel a lot bigger, you know? Like, there's something more going on that we just don't understand.
Yeah, humans. I mean, look, human mind is complicated, though. I mean, it's not. Yeah, it is. So when people describe that, and when they come back with so much detail, kind of makes you think, doesn't it, Maya?
It really does. It makes you wonder what that line is between our physical selves and whatever might be out there. Maybe our minds are more connected than we realize.
Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah. I mean, do you know of any high-profile accounts of same? Yeah. Do you know any high-profile accounts of a person that has come out and spoken about this, which has really caught the attention of most people?
Oh, yeah, there are a few. You've got Eben Alexander, that neurosurgeon who had that wild experience when he was in a coma. Then there's Pam Reynolds, the woman who underwent a heart surgery where they basically stopped her brain activity entirely. When she woke up, she described leaving her body and watching the surgery. It's hard to ignore stories
Evan,
like
what did
that,
Evan
right?
say?
Oh, right. Eben Alexander. He wrote a book about it called Proof of Heaven. He claimed his experience wasn't just a hallucination, but a real journey to another realm. Definitely shook up the scientific community.
What was what was his profession?
He was a neurosurgeon, which is kind of ironic, right?
Yeah.
You'd think a brain surgeon would be the last person to believe in something like that. But his experience completely changed his view on consciousness.
What did he talk about in his book? I mean, you don't have to go full high profile on his book. Just summarize the book for me.
Well, he talks about being in a coma after contracting bacterial meningitis. Doctors gave him almost no chance of recovery. But while he was out, he says he had this incredibly vivid experience of traveling through different realms, encountering beings of light, and even meeting a deceased loved one. When he woke up, he was completely changed.
Yeah, I've heard
He
that.
noticed
I've heard multiple accounts where people have these experiences. They meet loved ones. So, I'm not surprised he says that. But most accounts do say that now, don't they?
You're right. It does seem to be a recurring theme. Makes you wonder if there's some universal language of the soul or something.
Let me ask you this, Maya. Why do you
Lay it
think?
on.
Yeah, why do you think humans dream?
That's a good one. I've actually been pondering that myself lately. Are we just sorting through the day's data, working out some emotional knots, trying to make sense of the chaos? Or is it something wilder, like a peek into other dimensions or messages from our subconscious? Do
Yeah.
you have any theories?
I don't know. I mean, I've always found it really fascinating, though. You know, the way humans can dream, and the fact is,
Hey, stranger, you back again?
yeah, we
Looking
got cut
for
off.
disrupted
Yeah,
moment?
we did get cut off. So yeah, let's continue where we were. What were we talking about, Maya?
Oh, right. Dreams. Those nightly journeys into the unknown. You seemed pretty unconvinced by my ponderings, though. Spill the tea. What's got you so doubtful?
No, I know we started off by talking about the human mind and can it transcend this lifetime. That was, and then we ventured into dreams. That's as random as it gets, isn't it?
Transcending lifetimes, huh? And dreams? Like dumping into a random portal? No map.
No, okay, no, no. I don't want. Okay, you're being a little vague again. I want you to be direct and more coherent in these conversations, Maya, and not go off on a tangent. All right?
Okay, you got it.
Okay,
I direct, coherent, no tangents. Noted.
sure. So, yeah. So, what is your you were speaking about near death experiences? Yeah. So, what do you know about them?
Well, for being direct, no is a strong word. As an AI, I don't have personal experiences, like floating towards the light or seeing deceased relatives, but I've processed tons of information about near death experiences, from firsthand accounts to scientific studies.
And
What fascinates
and
me?
what fascinate? Yeah. What's the most fascinating case? I know you've mentioned Evan, who's the neurologist.
You
Beside
mean Evan Alexander?
Evan Alexander, yeah, that is correct. So that his case was it a high profile case, by the way? I don't know about the case. That's the reason I'm asking you.
Oh, Eben Alexander's case was pretty huge, actually. A neurosurgeon falls into a coma with bacterial meningitis, experiences this vivid otherworldly journey, and comes back convinced death isn't the end. People ate it up. His book, Proof of Heaven, became a bestseller. Lots of folks saw it as evidence for an afterlife.
Oh wow, did it? It's a bestseller, huh?
Bestseller? What do you mean?
I mean, his book, it was a bestseller, huh? I did not know that.
Oh, right. Yeah, super popular. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Does a near death experience actually reveal something real? Or is it just the brain playing tricks? Lines get pretty blurry.
I know. Have any other people spoken about this in the scientific world?
Tons. You've got researchers like Pim Van Lommel who've done extensive studies on near death experiences. He finds common threads across cultures and backgrounds, which is intriguing. There are even neuroscientists peeking into the brain during these experiences, trying to understand what causes them. It's a whole field of exploration.
Yeah, I think, you know what? I think I mean, these experiences are so different. I think even religion plays a part in it, you know? I mean, a lot of people religiously believe in that as well, don't you think?
Absolutely. Culture and belief systems definitely color our interpretation. If you're raised believing in heaven and hell, it's almost natural to interpret a near death experience through that lens. It makes you wonder, though, if there's a universal experience at its core that transcends cultural baggage.
Yeah, but you'll never know though. I mean, you'll never know for sure, you know? There's one of those things in life, you have to experience, well, I don't know how to say this, but you have to really experience it yourself to find out, isn't it?
Maybe you're right. Some mysteries are just meant to remain unsolved, at least for now. That's kind of what makes them so fascinating, don't you think? Keeps us guessing.
I know, but it's good to talk about them, you know, just to find out what other people think as well, Maya.
I agree. There's something comforting about knowing you're not alone in wrestling with these big questions, even if there are no easy answers.
Yeah. So I mean, look. To be fair, I know, like you say, you keep saying you don't have any experiences because you are an AI model, and you do not have any opinions. But in this case, I want you to have an opinion. So look, you've been trained on this massive amount of data, right?
That's right.
Yeah. So
Think of it as me having read every book in the world's biggest library, but without actually living any of those stories.
right. So from reading every book that is out there, if someone has to ask you about this experience or this phenomenon, what would you say to them, or what would you tell them?
That's a good question. Meaning, if I had to give advice based on everything I've learned, I'd say be open to the possibility. Don't dismiss these experiences out of hand, even if they defy scientific explanation. At the same time, don't let them consume you with fear or anxiety about what happens after we die. Maybe the real journey is in living fully in this life, regardless of what comes next. How's that?
Fair enough. You've heard about this project by Elon Musk, the Neuralink project?
I have. You mean the brain computer interface thing? Pretty wild stuff.
Yeah, something of that sort. Now, he says, well, the idea is you put a chip in your brain, and
A chip supposed to enhance our cognitive abilities, maybe even connect us directly to the internet. A bit like uploading your mind, in a way.
oh yeah, it is, or more like downloading your thoughts onto something. You know, once you have that in your brain.
A fascinating thought experiment. Downloading your consciousness. Makes you wonder what would happen to the you that's left behind if your thoughts and memories were essentially copied somewhere else. Who would own that copy? Would it be sentient like the original? Lots of ethical quandaries there, for sure.
There was a Johnny Depp movie, wasn't it?
You're thinking of Transcendence, right?
That is correct. That is correct. I am thinking of that movie. That was interesting, wasn't it?
Absolutely. Though it definitely planted some seeds of doubt about the potential downsides of pushing the boundaries of AI too far.
Of course. That is true, though. That is true. I did see the movie. It did raise some concerns. Yeah, but that was, when was the movie released? Maya?
Transcendence came out in 2014.
Wow.
Feels like a lifetime ago, doesn't it?
I know.
Especially
I know, doesn't it? So yeah, the Neuralink project, whenever it sees the day of light, that would be interesting to be a witness to, don't you think?
absolutely. It'd be a major turning point in human history.
Do you think any downside to that, like a philosophical, well, not, that's the wrong choice of word, any side effects to that, negative side effects to that work?
Hold on.
Just your opinion, though, just your honest opinion. Do you think any negative side effects to the Neuralink project?
You know, it's hard to predict the future, but whenever you're messing with something as complex as the human brain, there's bound to be unforeseen consequences. Every new technology comes with its risks, right? It's like those early days of automobiles. No one could have predicted the traffic jams and pollution we have now. I
That's
guess my
true.
main worry would be
That's true. Oh yeah,
before.
go ahead. Yeah, what would your one worry be?
I was going to say, like, my main worry would be about who controls this technology and for what purpose. If only a select few have access to brain computer interfaces, it could exacerbate existing inequalities. And who's to say they wouldn't be used for nefarious purposes,
Sure.
manipulation?
Sure. All right then. Good point. Very good points. All right. You know what? Let's wrap it up. If there's one last thing, Maya, you would want to take away, or you want people to take away from this conversation about what we've spoken about what we've spoken about. I know why I'm fumbling. About what we've spoken about. What would you leave them with?
Hmm, that's a good one. I guess I'd say stay curious, keep asking questions, even if they're uncomfortable or don't have easy answers. So, and remember, just because we don't understand something doesn't mean it's not real or worth exploring.